And good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Where are you joining from? My name is Kunle Ologe, marriage counselor and founder of the Marriage Seal Academy. And I'm glad to be here on our Friday Live where we share tips on marriage, tell you things that you need to do to make your marriage sweeter, to make your marriage better, to make your marriage more interesting. And I can see already some people are already here live. I see Esther. Esther, oh boy, you are seated here already. I see Igor. Oh, I see you guys. It's great to have you here. And today we are talking about something that is interesting as usual. We are talking about how to spice up romance in marriage. Yes, that's what we're talking about today. How to spice up romance in marriage. And this is a topic that is very, very useful in marriage because there are a lot of marriages that are boring, no romance. So I'm here to help you to make that boring marriage interesting again. And I see you, Augusta. I see you, Vera. I see you, Tosin. I see you, Dr. Celestina. Lydia, I see a lot of conclavites here already. Oh, great, great, great. And I'm so happy to have you here. So we're going to be talking about this in the next 1 hour. And let's see how we can drive through and see how at the end of the day, our marriages will have better romance. Yes? Okay, great. So who is looking forward to this class? Who is looking forward to how to make romance more better in their marriages? Just put it there in the comment section. I'm looking forward to this class. I'm looking forward to this class. And you know, two things that you need to do. First of all, click the like button, okay, so that it can be more exposed. Then, of course, share the link freely to everybody that you know, every married couple that you know. Just begin to share the link right now so that they can get on and they can learn something that will be useful to them. And my wife is here. My beautiful yellow wife, Wendy Ologe, is here. I greet you and I thank you for being here. So let's kick off immediately, right? So that we don't waste time. We want to make sure we're able to squeeze everything into 1 hour like we do. How to spice up romance in marriage. Now, first and foremost, one of the 6 purposes of marriage is enjoyment. That's one of the 6 purposes of marriage. There are 6 purposes of marriage. Yes, and if you didn't know that, you need to know it. You know, yesterday we started the course, the Becoming Mr. and Mrs. Singles Program, Singles Conference for eligible singles. And I was teaching them the 6 purposes of marriage. Because you can't be thinking of marriage when you don't even know why marriage should be. So you need to understand it. And of course, every conclavite here already knows those 6 purposes of marriage. And one of the 6 purposes of marriage is enjoyment. Yes, marriage is for enjoyment. Your marriage should be something that you are happy about. Your marriage should be something that you are looking forward to. You are looking forward to see your spouse. You're looking forward to do things with your spouse. That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be happy that you are married. And let other people who are not married be looking up to you and hoping that they get married. It shouldn't be the other way around, that you are unhappy that you are married and looking for how to become single. Oh no, that is totally wrong. When you are married, people should be looking up to you to get married also. They should be able to say, wow, I see that how that lady is always smiling. Oh, I see how that man is always happy. Oh, I want to be in marriage just as they are. So that is why we're talking about this thing, and we're telling you that romance is part of enjoyment, and one of the 6 purposes of marriage is enjoyment. Okay, so let's move on. Now, what is this romance? Because when you say romance, a lot of people, what comes into their head, chim chim, is sex. When they say romance, just chim chim, sex. No, no, no. They are not the same. They are related, yes, but they are not the same. And it's good we start pointing it, because in marriages, in some marriages, the problem is there is no romance. There is sex, but there's no romance. So after a while, there's frustration. So let's get it right and understand what exactly romance is. So romance is a feeling of excitement associated with love. That's what it is. It's a feeling of excitement and mystery that is associated with love. So when you say you are in love, those feelings that happen, that's romance. And it just doesn't happen like that. Things need to trigger it. So romance is a feeling. Romance is a state of being excited. And you need to understand that it is different from going all the way and having sex. You can have romance without having sex. Married people, are you hearing me? Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Please understand that you can have romance without necessarily reaching sex. It's not every romantic situation that leads to sex. The wives are hailing me now. They are shouting and saying, yes, yes, yes. I can see they are saying, yes, 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 yes. I hear you. I'm speaking your mind. So to the husbands and also to the wives, understand that. It's very, very important to understand, because it will help your perspective on what romance is. So if romance is not all about sex, it means that there is more that needs to be done for you to have a romantic relationship as a married couple. Let's first look at what the hindrances are to romance. Now we have understood that romance is different from sex, even though they are related. We've understood that romance is a feeling of excitement and mystery that is associated with love. Now, let us look at what are the things that stop romance, that hinder romance in a marriage. Let's look at some of those things so that we can start removing those things before we start talking about the things that will now enable romance in marriage. All right, number one very big hindrance, very big, and I put it in capital letters, B-I-G, big hindrance to romance in marriage is tension. Tension. When there is tension in a marriage, you cannot be talking about romance. Do you understand what tension is? Everybody is tensed. Nobody can talk to the other person. You talk to this person, the person shouts and is triggered. You bring up a topic, there is always fight. That's unnecessary tension. So it's like in your home, you are walking on eggshells all the time. Every time you are walking on eggshells. That's tension. Now, that's a big hindrance to romance. Because when the wife is always giving tension, or the husband is always giving tension in the house, there cannot be romance. Let's give some examples. So for the wife, maybe you have a help in the house, and this help always triggers you. And because of the trigger, you are constantly shouting in the house. And your husband comes, he even wants to come and say, hey, honey, he wants to come from your back and just hold you and give you a hug. But you're already shouting. The man will just say, let me just respect myself and enter into my sofa and be watching my TV. Before this shout that this woman is shouting and shouting on this help, she uses backhand by mistake to backhand me. So romance is killed. Every thought of romance is gone. For some of you, is the children that are triggering you. So the children do things wrong. You are just shouting all over the house. You are shouting, shouting, shouting. Lack of emotional intelligence. Oh, by the way, have you registered for the EI course, the emotional intelligence course that is starting this month in the Intentional Parents Academy? If you haven't, please go and register. If you are a shouter, shouter, yeller, your house, everybody knows you. Even the people on the street know that you are a yeller. Then you need to register for this course. I lived in a house once that the woman, it used to break my heart the way the woman used to shout. That's a neighbor. The way she used to shout on her children in the morning. Oh man, it broke my heart. I used to wonder that when these children grow up, they're going to resent this woman. She will shout on them. She will insult them. She's shouting all over. And her husband is very calm. Now, even if her husband wants to be romantic, how is he going to be romantic in that kind of situation? When you are shouting and the lights are blaring everywhere as if you are a fire engine. Wow, wow, wow. You're shouting everywhere, breaking down all the walls of peace in the house. It's difficult for a romantic situation to happen like that. So, romance needs peace, not tension. Okay. Let's look at the man. We've looked at the woman now. Some men are angry birds. Angry birds. Have you ever watched that cartoon, that animation, Angry Birds? It first came out as a game and then came out as animation. So the bird was always angry. In fact, the birds were always angry. Their faces are always, how an angry face is, and the eyebrows are always looking like this. They're always angry. That is how some men are. Always angry in the house. They become the lion in the house. When they come, the lion is here. Everybody scatters. In your home. So there's too much tension. Your wife comes to you and just brings up a topic that is even supposed to be laughable. You say, is that what we're talking about now? I'm talking about how to pay school fees. You're talking about us going out to take dinner. What's that? Don't you think? Don't you think? What has happened? Tension. So the romance that the wife was even trying to bring, gone. So you need to understand, as men, please reduce the tension in your home. Stop coming to your home and turning it into a what did I call it for them yesterday? Turning it into a concentration camp. Nobody can smile. Nobody's allowed to smile. You are a sadist. Anybody that is happy, you bring down the happiness. Why are you happy? What's there to laugh about? Is Nigeria working? Why are you people laughing in this house? Children are I've actually seen this happen before. Children are laughing in the house. The man of the house is saying, why are you laughing in the house? What's there to laugh about? Oh my God. So what about your wife? If your children are shut down, that means that one you shut her down completely. So you need to reduce the tension in your home. The tension is what is not causing romance to happen. So please, 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 and please understand that this tension thing is a big problem. And it's hindering romance in a lot of marriages. So remove the tension. Remove the tension from your homes, or else that tension is going to break the home. It won't only stop romance, it will break down the entire relationship. Okay, so let's move to the next hindrance of romance. The next hindrance of romance is distance. Distance. This has to do with physical distance, which means you are not living together in the same place. And this is where I always say that marriage, I say it again, apologies to those of you who are living separately, but it is the truth. Marriage was not designed for husband and wife to live separately. That's not God's design of marriage. Marriage was not designed for husband and wife to live separately. It was designed for husband and wife to live together in one house, in one room. Let me even emphasize that, because this Oga's room, Madam's room syndrome is not helping your marriage. That only helps to distance your marriage, and that's the second distance. You are in the same house, but you are not together. Either you are not staying in the same room, or you are staying in the same room, but you are just not there physically, spiritually, or emotionally. Your physical body is in the home, but you are not there. You've gone somewhere else. You've traveled. So distance is a killer of romance. When you live separately, how are you going to do some of the things that you're supposed to do romantically together? Yeah, you say, oh, well, thank God for technology. You can communicate all across the globe. It is not the same as the person sitting right in front of you. Communication online will not be the same when it comes to romance to the person who is sitting in front of you. So distance is a big hindrance. If you're here and you're listening to me, or anyone who is going to be listening to the replay of this, and you are living this separately in different towns, in different cities, in different countries, please begin to plan how both of you will come back together and live in one place. It's causing issues in marriage. So many marriages, this Japa syndrome. Japa has affected so many marriages. A good percentage of the people that I counsel every day are Japa people. One person abroad, one person in Nigeria. And I asked them why. They said the other person has gone ahead to go and plan the way. And this planning the way, 5 years have passed. They are still planning the way. No. That's not the design of marriage. So you need to kill the distance if you really want romance to happen in your marriage. Understand, please, that distance does not help romance. It further worsens the situation. And if you're in the same home, please stop this madam's room or girl's room. I don't know where we got this, let me call it a technology. I don't know where we got this technology from. You say, no, I need to have my space. You don't, there's nothing like my space again. When you get married, it's our space. Nothing like my space. I remember when I was going to get married and we were about to, I wanted to buy a new bed because I felt that the bed in my house was too small, since it was only me that was staying in the house. So I mentioned it, in passing to my elder sister. And my elder sister said, why do you want to buy a new bed? I said, okay, I want to buy a bigger bed. We're going to be 2. So let me buy a bigger bed. And this, my bed was already, I think 4 by, I can't remember what size, the regular bed. And she said, no, that is the kind of bed you need in marriage, so that both of you will be touching each other every time. Of course, me, I was still a learner. I was still coming up. 15 years down the line, I know why the bed should be small, so that you are together. And we are having people saying you want to live in separate rooms, and you think that it's not going to hinder your marriage. It is gradually chipping off the bond in your marriage, little by little. You may think, oh, no, we're still very together. You are not together. You are going, and that's why the men will be somewhere in their room watching pornography. Women too will be somewhere watching pornography and killing everything about themselves. You are giving yourself opportunity to do the wrong things. Nobody is there. You don't want to be accountable. It is a lack of accountability. What you are doing is actually running away from accountability. You want to be able to be in your room and make phone calls to that man friend of yours, that woman friend of yours, so that your wife will not complain, so that your husband will not complain. I'm giving you the reasons, just in case nobody is saying it. Let me say it. These are the reasons that you are living in separate rooms. Don't give me the excuse of I want space. Which space do you need? How many are you that you want space? How many are you? It's not just one person. And then you have 2 big giant rooms and you say you are giving yourself space. That is ridiculously nonsense. And if you need to hear that, please hear it today. Convert that room that you are calling madam's room or girl's room. I don't know which one you want to convert. Convert the smaller room to a box room. Remove the bed from the room so that there's nobody escaping there to go and sleep. And come into one room. You need to hear this. Somebody needs to hear this so that you save your marriage. Because a lot of marriages are breaking because of something as little, or what you think is little, meanwhile it's so fundamental. So please, from today, as you are listening to me, no more Oga's room, madam's room. You people should come together, choose one room, and it will be our room. I've been married for 15 years. I've never had madam's room or Oga's room. We only have one room, one bed. In fact, the bed itself, sometimes our children come and choke us on it. When they are on holiday, when they're back from school, they tell us we want to all sleep on the bed. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. These children, you people don't know you are not small anymore. You are so big that sometimes they push me off the bed and I need to go and sleep on the sofa or something. But that's the fun of it. So please, distance is a big hindrance to romance in marriage. Kill the distance. Kill it. All right, let's move on. Another hindrance to romance in marriage is age difference. Age difference. Somebody didn't know I would say this one. Yes. Age difference. I know the person who is concerned, or the people who are concerned right now, they'll say, Coach, don't go there, don't go there. I will go there. I need to help you. So age difference. Age difference is a big challenge if it is not well managed in romance. And I tell you why. You see, if you are on a different age, let's say the man, usually it's the man that is older, yeah? So let's say the man is older, and say the man is about 40 and the woman is about 25. There's going to be a problem, because the brain of a 25-year-old, the things that a 25-year-old wants to do are not the things that a 40-year-old person wants to do. So while the 25-year-old wants to go around shopping, doing window shopping and jumping around and just doing selfie, the 40-year-old man is wondering, babe, this one I have passed. That's how you guys say it, right? I have passed this one. So you see where it's now difficult for there to be a convergence. So age, people say age is just a number. It doesn't matter. It's not true. Age actually is a factor. So if you are getting married, or if you are already married and you have the age difference, that age difference that is like 10 years and above, you need to understand that the two of you are going to be thinking on different wavelengths. And don't get frustrated or don't get agitated or angry. Just look for a way to merge and consolidate that you're thinking. Getting angry, getting upset, getting frustrated is not helping any one of you, both either husband or wife. No, it won't help you. What you need to do is look for how to bring everybody to a converging point. To say, you that you're old, come to the center. You that you're young, come to the center. Then at this center, let's look for how we can use it. People have come to me before to say, I want to get married. The person I want to get married to is 10 years older than me, or 15 years older than me, or 20 years older than me. Coach, does it matter? I tell them, yes, it matters. You say, but I love this person. Well, love is not the only thing in marriage. There is responsibility. But if you're already married and you're hearing me and that age difference is there, I'm sorry, you don't have the opportunity to make the choice of no, you've already entered. So what you need to do is look for a convergence. So if you are the younger fellow in the marriage, whether you are the man or the woman, you need to be a little bit patient and understand. If you are the older person, you need to also be patient and understand that your spouse is in a different age bracket, thinking of something else. So don't get angry. Don't blow the roof, because it was your choice anyway. You entered with your eyes open. Maybe you just didn't wash the eye. So please ensure that you understand that it is a hindrance, so that you watch out for it. Okay. Now, let's look at the next one. Number 4, background. Background is another hindrance to romance in marriage. The background you came from. Some people, where they came from, there is no love shown. There's nothing like, I love you what? Father will come out and say to the child, I love you. That what happened? All it needs is, I pay your school fees. Love what? I'm not loving nothing. That's what happens that's what happened in some people's backgrounds. Talk less of saying hug. In some people's backgrounds, where they are coming up from, their father never hugged them. Even mother herself never hugged them. So they are now married. And of course, to hug is now something they're wondering, what's all this hugging about? So you see men, the wives are trying to hug them. They're like, what's all this hugging about? What's the problem? Do you want to go to bed or something? That's all they think of when there's a hug. Some wives, it repels them. They even tell the husband, your beard is choking me. Stop all those things. Check it. Your background, something happened. So your background is a hindrance, or can be a hindrance to romance in marriage. Your spouse's background can be a hindrance to romance in marriage. You need to find out what these backgrounds are, so that, you see, when you know a problem, you can start working towards the solution. I've had calls to counsel couples that have told me that when they grew up, they didn't know there was no hugging. Talkers of any of the parents pecking them on the head or on the cheek or anything. They're talking about peck. We've not even talked about hug. Even handshake self is by force. Maybe you had a military father and military mother, that kind of thing. But you need to understand that happened does not mean that it should now continue in your own generation. You can break it and you can begin to learn. And that's why you are here, and I'm happy that you are here listening to this. So background is a big problem. I see my wife saying, never allow your background to keep you on the ground. Yes, everybody has a background. Everybody has where he's coming from. Don't allow where you are coming from to now keep you, and you will not progress because of where you are coming from. No. So let's look at the last one, the last hindrance that I have here. There are many hindrances. I've just selected 5 for us to just mention with the time that we have. So the last hindrance is somehow related to background. It is religion and culture. Religion and culture. Some people, they are so religious that the religiousness and religiosity, and I don't know how else to qualify it, has entered the marriage and has entered romance. Do you know that there are some couples that don't believe in kissing each other? You know, when I say some of these things, you would say, coach, you are being extreme. You know, I've been counseling for 10 years. I've heard all kinds of things. I've heard things that when you hear it, you will laugh and say it's not possible. There are some people that religion has made them, they can't kiss their wives. The only time that they attempt to is when they are on the bed making love. That's the only time. Some cannot kiss their husbands. The only time also is when they're on the bed. Something just tells them that there's something bad about it. I don't know how many of you attended that course last year. We're going to do it again this year. Talking about sex, renewing sex in marriage. That course had so many things inside that will break a lot of things, a lot of barriers in your marriage. Because some of these barriers are even evil. They're evil. You can't kiss your wife, but in the Bible it says give a holy kiss to one another. Holy kiss means not on the mouth, you are pecking on the side. But you cannot peck your wife. You can't peck your husband at the side. You say, no. I was counseling a couple once, and I was telling the wife how to be dressing to, dress to kill for the husband, and how to wear nice lingerie. The husband, I saw him, he was saying, no, I don't like those kind of things. They are for women of the night. I say, be deceiving yourself. Sit down there and deceive yourself. Like you don't actually use one eye to look when you see those kind of things. Now your wife is supposed to now dress for you, and you're there saying you don't want to see. Please allow your wife to dress for you. So going back again to romance, religion, things that we are not told. I say religion now, not spirituality, because a lot of us carry religion on our head and forget spirituality. So religion, this is the way that this thing should be done, and you're just dogged about it. You're not even thinking about what really that your religion is saying. So you need to understand that even tradition is a problem. In some cultures, you go and hug your wife, they'll tell you, come on, what do you mean? How can you be hugging your wife? What are you? Can't you control yourself? Be a man, control yourself. Hello. Do you know there are some cultures, there are some traditions that forbid the woman from initiating sex or initiating anything romantic? I've come to deliver you here today. Please, your wife, your husband, they are for you to be romantic towards. This is very, very important. So these are 5 hindrances to romance, and knowing these hindrances will help you to start pulling them away so that it can give space to romance in marriage, because romance is very important. Romance keeps the sparks, keeps the marriage active, keeps it on fire, makes it interesting and not boring. Remember, like I usually say, whatever age you are married, you have a minimum of 50 years plus to be married, depending on how long you want to live, but a minimum of 50 years to be married. Definitely more than you have been single. And you need to live. Do you know what it is to live 50 years frustrated? Ask me, I see it. They come to me. I see old couples coming to me for counseling for the first time in their life, frustrated, and the frustration started from the beginning of the marriage. So all these years they've had children. I even had one. Oh my God, I've heard things. So I had one that came to me and said, you know what, coach? It was only this year, and this person had been married for, as at the time that she was telling me, I think she had been married for 17 years or 17 to 20 years. I can't remember now, or some years ago. She said that year was the first year she knew, or because she got married as a virgin, that was the first year she understood what orgasm was, as in she had never experienced it. So we need to be, there are a lot of things that we do or that we don't do that are actually damaging our marriage, and we don't know it. That's why I'm here to tell you, so that you do things that will spice things up. Okay, so now after taking this whole heat on the hindrances to romance, now let's look at how to spice up romance. So how do you now spice it up? Okay, so let's look at some of these things. Reina says that I witnessed an 81-year-old man and 78-year-old woman kissing publicly in the UK. I mean French kiss. I had to tell my husband, see what I saw. And we that are young, you say we are in the public. Yeah, you know. But of course, let me put a caveat before you go to the public and go and overdo. So there are things that are appropriate for public. There are things that you should go. When it starts reaching French kiss, and you now start moving from kiss to something else in the public, is a little bit too much. So there are some things that should still be private. But giving a kiss, beautiful. Holding, hugging, beautiful in public. Why not? Now, let's look at how to spice up romance. Number one, and this one, I'm sure if you've been listening to me, you know that this one will be one of number one. Spend quality time together. Spend quality time together. Spend quality time talking, doing activities, playing. Spend quality time together. You know, in the Couples Conclave, the 11-month program of the Marriage Seal Academy that runs every year, you know, it's circular. It just runs, ends in November. We start again in January. So you join us. You just keep joining the train. It's a moving train. So one of the things we do is to always give one activity minimum at least every week for couples to do, just to help to spark up romance in the marriage. So you need to spend time together, spend time talking. Start from talking. Talking is too important. Start from talking. Talk about anything. It mustn't be when we say talking, I like to refer to it as gisting time. It mustn't be anything serious. You're not talking about, at that point in time, you shouldn't be talking about things that are serious. Just gist what happened during the day. What are the funny things that you saw? Just gist. It helps to build romance in marriage. So spend quality time together. The next one is number 2. Speak the love language of your spouse. Speak the love language of your spouse. Now, thank God for that book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. That book has, over many years, has saved a lot of marriages. A lot of marriages now understand that there is such a thing as love language, and that's beautiful. But here is where the problem now lies. So now everybody knows the test. The test is online. You can, if you just Google the 5 love languages test, you see the test, the link for the test. Go there, take the test. It will help you to know what your love language is. But let me say, when you are taking the test, take it honestly. So answer the questions as they're coming. Pick your answers as they're coming. Don't think. Once you overthink it, you're going to distort the result of the test. That's one secret. So you overthink that test, you will distort it, because you will now start inferring things. This thing they're saying, are they sure that it will not lead me to this? No, let me choose this one. You will miss it. So what you need to do is just take the test and just take it as the questions are coming. Read the options, pick, go to the next one. Read the options, pick, go to the next one. That's the way to know genuinely what your love language is. Now, I was talking about what is the big problem with love language. The big problem is that people speak their own love languages to their spouse instead of speaking their spouse's love languages to them. I'll say it again. People speak their own love languages to their spouse instead of speaking their spouse's love language to them. So let's say your love language is words of affirmation. Your spouse's love language is touch, physical touch. Then because your love language is words of affirmation, you feel that if you constantly speak words of affirmation to your spouse, whose language is physical touch, that he will feel loved or she will feel loved. And then you see that it's not working. You now come to me, because I hear people coming to me and say, I speak the love language, but he doesn't respond to it. I say, which love language are you speaking? Somebody cannot be Igala and you are speaking Nupe to the person. Someone cannot be thief and you are speaking Gwari to the person. It won't work. So that's the mistake that people make. They tend to speak their own love language to their spouse, and the spouse has a totally different love language. So learn to speak the love language of your spouse to your spouse. This is very important, and it will really help, so that you don't now get confused and get frustrated that you are speaking love language, the person is not. And don't assume love language. Hey, I say it again. Don't assume the love language of your spouse. No. Don't do that. You need to ask your spouse, what is your love language? I've been in counseling sessions that I'll ask what the love language is. The other spouse will be answering for the other spouse. I say, no, Oga, wait now. You are not the one. Let me ask the person. And you know, in some of those instances, the love language that the spouse thought was the other one's love language was not the one. That I will now say, no, my love language is this. So all the years you've been speaking the wrong language, and in your mind, you've been hitting your chest and you've been boasting and saying, yes, I'm speaking my spouse's love language to him or to her. Don't fall into that trap. Okay, let's look at the third one. This one is interesting. Number 3 of how to spice up romance is surprises. Surprises. And when we're saying surprises, what are we talking about? Doing something that your spouse is not expecting. And it is not in the how much, it is in the surprise and in the thought. How do you do surprises? Buy gifts. Go on dates that were not planned. Send surprise messages. Send lunch to your spouse. These things don't really take so much money. And many of us miss it because we don't do it. And we just assume that, oh, well, we are working. All of us are working now. We becloud ourselves with work and forget the little things of life, which are the final things of life. So you need to inject surprises. Don't wait for when it is only anniversaries or when there's an occasion. That's beautiful. That's also part of it. But I'm saying you don't have to wait till then. Just occasionally, one thing here, one thing there. So you need to get surprises. And hey, it is Valentine in a few days. What an opportunity for you to surprise your spouse. For some of you listening to me, maybe you have never surprised your spouse on Valentine. You've never bought a gift. You've never written a note. You've never as much as looked at her that morning or looked at him this morning and just say, I love you. So surprise your spouse. Very, very important. So this is the opportunity. Valentine is here. Get your spouse something. You should have gotten what you want to get for your spouse today. It's next week, right? 14th of February. I hope I'm correct. It's next week. So do something for your spouse. Something nice. It's in the thought. It's not in the gift. And that's why I wrote that book, that ebook, 100 gifts for him or for her. You need to go to our store. If you want to get the link to our store, you can see our number scrolling right down there. That's the number for the Marriage Seal Academy. Send a message there and just say 100 gifts. If you say 100 gifts, they'll give you the link to the store so that you go and buy that ebook, 100 gifts. What I did in that book is, first of all, I spoke about gifts, what it means, how to give them, how to get them, the timing and all of that. And then I now have 100 ideas, gift ideas. So it's actually 100 gift ideas for him or her. So I have 100 gift ideas in case you don't know what to get your spouse. You know, sometimes we can have that memory block and just thinking, oh, what do I get her now? Especially if you are even someone who has been giving gifts. So you have 100 ideas there that you can pick from. You want to rush and get that ebook so that you can quickly get what a gift, a nice gift for your spouse waiting for Valentine. Remember to also write a note. Very, very beautiful. So surprises will help in beefing up or spicing up romance in your marriage. All right. I see a question. My husband's love language is acts of service. Okay, well, can we wait for, well, I'm going to give you time for questions after I'm done, and I'll soon be done. So we'll give about 10 minutes for questions. So let's wait till that time. Then please bring your questions. So you have your questions, please write them down, and then we will get them kicking. Okay? All right. Now, the next one is date nights. You know, before you got married, you are going out on dates. So you are visiting everywhere. Everywhere in the world you are visiting, carrying yourselves. Every evening you are looking, every weekend you are looking for this person you want to get married to so that people will go out and go somewhere. Now you are married and you cannot remember the last time you went out. The only outing you do is you go for wedding, you go for birthday, you go for naming ceremony. That's not the same as date. Those are not dates. So you need to start having date nights. My wife is there saying we love the notes. Yes, so all the men that are listening to me, please understand that your wife is waiting for that note. The note is even more important than the gift. Please write a small note on a lovely piece of paper, getting ready for Valentine. I'm helping you. I'm helping somebody now so that Valentine will not pass and then there will be quarrel in the house. Conflict will burst. So plan, okay? All right, great. So as I was saying, you need to reignite the date nights in your marriage. Even if you can do it once a month, that's good. If you can't do it once a month, maybe once in 2 months, once in a quarter, that's good. Go out with your spouse, just the two of you. Go somewhere. It mustn't be anywhere expensive. Don't go and watch a movie together, go and eat food somewhere. Just go out. It will spark up romance in your marriage. Let's not forget our topic, how to spice up romance in your marriage. And that is what we are doing. The next one, number 5 of things that we should do, hugs and kisses. Yes. Let us understand that giving hugs and planting kisses on our spouses are very, very important. Do you know that your spouse that always gets agitated and angry, maybe she's just waiting for you to give her a bear hug? Just hold her. Sometimes you hold her, she will be struggling. Just hold her to your chest. Just talk gently, rub her head. Let her be struggling. Rub her head gently, and you see her just melt into your body. When last did you do that? When last did you look at your husband and just hold him, hold his arm to show that, man, I'm hanging on to you? Hugs and kisses. Kiss, peck, very important. All right. Number 6, watch wedding videos. Watch your wedding videos. Very, very important. Because those wedding videos bring you, memories of things that happened. And your wedding day is usually one of your best days. So learn to watch those videos, learn to look at those pictures together, not alone. It helps to bring back memories, and those memories make you feel good. They make you feel close again to your spouse. So ensure that you watch your wedding videos. Number 7, celebrate wins together. So you have small wins. Maybe you are promoted at work, you are given a commendation, you were able to achieve something, you finished a thesis, you finished your program, your degree program, you did something. Please, spouse, to that person that achieved something, celebrate. Do a small party, just 2-man party, buy cupcake, put candle, just 2 of you. Bring a bottle of, even if it's Coke, and say, hey, let's celebrate. This is a good achievement. It looks little, but your spouse will feel loved, that, oh, I achieved something and you are celebrating me for that. Oh, I feel loved. So celebrate wins together. Okay, let's move on. Number 8, say I love you. Those 3 words are very important. They are very, very important in marriage. And they should be said every single day. A day should not pass that I love you does not come out of your mouth. Say it in the morning, say it in the afternoon, say it in the night. You say, oh, in the afternoon we're working, send it as a message. It's always important for your spouse to hear it. Don't assume that your spouse knows. Because what I hear some people say, she knows that I love her. He knows that I love him. Yeah, I know he knows, but say it. And then finally, for today, you need to communicate decently. Communicate decently. Shouting on your spouse, nagging your spouse, insulting your spouse, those are not effective communication means at all. That is very poor communication. In fact, at some stage, it reaches abuse. It becomes abuse. So learn to speak decently with your spouse. Communication is something in marriage. Hey, if you are listening to me, and maybe this is the first time you are listening to me, please understand that communication is too important in marriage. Communication is too important to be ignored. A lot of people are ignoring it, and your marriage is drifting apart. The time you will know that your marriage drifted apart so far is when your children leave home. I keep saying it. When your children leave home, you now find out that you and your wife, you are looking at yourselves and there's nothing to say. You and your husband are looking at yourselves. You have no conversations because you are not communicating. And this is why this book that is coming up this month, the new book, my new book that is coming up this month, is a must-have for every married couple and even every single. A must-have. 3 Rivers of Marriage. This book is talking about the 3 major issues of marriage: communication, finance, and sex. And communication is the chief of it. In fact, that chapter on communication, the other day I was even just reviewing it again, and I was just seeing so much insight. Even me, I was asking myself, when did I write this? There's so much to learn when it comes to communication. And you need to settle down. And I want you people to get this book and settle down with it. It's launching on the 28th of February, just a few weeks away. You would have it, you'll be able to go and pick it up from your pickup point and have it handy in your hand. Don't put it in your shelf. No, don't buy it if you are going to put it in your shelf. Buy it, sit down with it, husband and wife, digest it. You can't read this book and be the same. It's not possible. So this is a book you need to buy. The pre-order is constantly, is right now on. The pre-order has been on since last month. It's still on until the 28th. So the time is running out already. Quickly pre-order so that you'll be one of the first to be able to go and pick it up from the closest pickup point to you. Pre-order now, and then of course when you pre-order, you are pre-ordering at 4,000 instead of the original price of 5,000. On the 28th, the price reverts to 5,000 naira. So you want to save 1,000 naira by pre-ordering today. So make sure that you pre-order this book. Don't waste time. So many people have already, hundreds have already pre-ordered this book. So you need to join the train and pre-order your own copy so that you get out of the first print. Not that you will now pre-order late and you will now be waiting again for another print. Pre-order now, today, so that your communication can be seasoned with salt and you know how to properly communicate. For some of you, the problems in your marriage is communication. Once you change your communication style and the way you communicate, you see your spouse warming up to you. I mean, I've seen this happen. A lot of times people come to me, maybe it's just one spouse that comes to me to complain. And I ask some questions and I find out that it's like people have a communication problem. Then I give some tips and say, okay, try this, try this, try this. The person will go back. 1 week later, the person is calling me and saying, wow, my husband all of a sudden for the first time hugged me. Oh, my wife came and laid down on my chest. I say, yes, you are the cause. You didn't know how to communicate. Now that you've started using some of the tips, just some, because there are many, now you can see your spouse warming up to you. So if you need a copy, you want to book for this, pre-order a copy of this book, please see the number that is scrolling online. Send a WhatsApp message to that number and just say pre-order or just say book. And they'll give you all the details. The details are on the screen, but just in case you want more details, you send a WhatsApp chat to that number. They'll get back to you with the details of how to pre-order. I see you, Stella, saying, I will pre-order. Great. Is there any other person who is going to pre-order, or is there any other person who has pre-ordered? If you have pre-ordered, write it there in the comment section. I have pre-ordered. If you're going to pre-order, write it there. I will pre-order. And that is where we come to the end of today's Friday Live. And I hope somebody picked something from today. So those questions that you had, please, you can now start bringing those questions and we'll answer them in the next 6 minutes. Okay? Great. So we'll answer them in the next 6 minutes. Oh, I can see so many people. Oh, these are conclavites. I can see people saying, I have pre-ordered. Beautiful. I want to also see the people that want to say, I will pre-order. So, great. So where are those questions? The people who asked questions, can you quickly ask those questions again? I don't think I can scroll to find them, but please ask those questions again so that we can have them answered. Please, if you asked the question before, please ask again. Okay. Oh, I see my big auntie there, Mrs. Adenira. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Lovely woman of God. Thank you so much. Okay, so any question? I am waiting for your questions. And that's what we are waiting for. So don't forget to pre-order a copy of this book, 3 Rivers of Marriage. It is important. It's a book that every couple must have. Yes, you must have it in your marriage. If you don't have this book in your marriage, then you are missing out. Let's remember what we spoke about today, how to spice up romance in your marriage. Now, let's answer the first question. So it says, How can couples who stay apart due to job description celebrate Valentine? Okay, so yes, Valentine is one day in 365 days. If by reason of your job you are not able to celebrate it that one day, please create your own Valentine's Day. Because I mean, it will be nice to spend it together physically, so spending it digitally will not really cut it. So create your own Valentine's Day. There's nothing stopping you. My wife and I, we have plenty Valentine's Day. In fact, Valentine is not as important as some of the other days that we have created for ourselves as our own Valentine. So that is the answer to that question. Create your own Valentine Day. Choose a day that both of you will be together and choose that this is going to be our own Valentine. All the things we wanted to do during Valentine, we will go and do it on this particular day. Okay? All right. So I keep seeing I will pre-order. I keep seeing I will pre-order. Great, great, great. I'm happy to see that. Oh, somebody is asking, is it on Amazon? It will be on Amazon once it is launched. Yeah, once it is launched, it will be available on Amazon. Okay? Thank you. So I hope I answered your question. Any other question? I'm looking out for the questions. Can I see the questions? I'm trying to see if we can scroll back to those people who send their questions. Someone says, how do I speak? Yeah, Esther, how do I speak acts of service as a love language to my husband? Okay, so if the love language of your husband, remember you're speaking his love language. If his love language is acts of service, what it means is that in acts of service, you help the person to do things. That's what it simply means. So your husband, you know that he's traveling or he's going to work tomorrow, and you set out his clothes, what he's going to wear. You have it set out, hung neatly. If he needs ironing, iron it, have his shoes arranged and everything. And then he wakes up in the morning and sees everything already set for him. That's acts of service. You see your husband, he has something that he needs to do. He has a deadline he needs to meet. You can see him struggling on his laptop. You come to him and say, is there a way I can help you? Can I be reading out these things for you? Will it make it easier for you? That's acts of service. So acts of service is you doing anything that your spouse needs to do or wants to do. You help the spouse do that thing. That's acts of service. Okay, so I hope I helped you, Esther, answering that question. All right. Any other question? Okay. Says, how do you manage romance around children? Yeah, how do you manage romance? Let me tell you something. Interestingly, part of romance, your children should see it. As long as it has not reached the stage that other eyes should not see, if you get what I mean. Your children should be able to see you planting a kiss on your husband, planting a kiss on your wife, hugging your husband, hugging your wife. As long as it's not of sexual content. You know the kind of hug that is of sexual content. You get what I mean? So as long as it doesn't go that far, hugging, kissing, holding, very, very good. Because you are teaching your children how to show love. And it's going to help them in the future to show love to their spouses. So you manage romance by doing the general things. I've mentioned them: hugging, kissing, holding. But when it starts getting to you caressing and getting into French kiss and all of that, that may be going too far. But you need to show your children how to show love. Because tomorrow, do you know there are many children that can't hug their parents? They can't give a kiss on their parents. Why? They didn't do it. They didn't see them doing it. They didn't see the parents doing it. So it's strange to them. So that's the answer to that question. Okay. Yeah, my wife has said it. Your children need to see you show affection. Very, very key. They need to see you show affection to one another. Okay, so I see no other questions. This is a good place to stop. You know, we always want to take just 1 hour of your time every day. I mean, every Friday. So we see ourselves again on Friday. Please ensure you pre-order this book. I'm saying it now because you will still buy this book. Whether you pre-order it now, you will buy it tomorrow because the whole world is going to be talking about this book. It is an expose of the 3 major issues in marriage and more. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It's been my pleasure having you on this live stream where we were talking about how to spice up romance in marriage. I hope you picked something from this. God bless you, bliss, and joy.